for next 5 years?
Well, the President Putin and Prime Minister Modi, they set the target of 100 billion of USD by 2030. So this is the target we are working on, and we believe that the key source of that increase will come from India's export in goods and services going to Russia.
There's definitely a sense that this administration, the second Trump administration, even relative to the first, has fewer India experts, fewer people who get an intuitive sense of India's sensitivities and motivations and interests with the ear of the president. So we've seen this in a number of occasions, but it's also true that, this administration is approaching American grand strategy very differently from prior administrations. And so some of these collisions were predictable. For example, rebalancing trade has been this administration's primary focus. And with that, it was, that's been a enduring sore spot between U.S.-India relations for a long time. So it's predictable that would lead to some sort of collision. But I think you're right that there are sensitivities related to Indian political culture that have not been taken into account that should have, and that represent lost opportunities. Now, with this, Modi is certainly going out of his way. Prime Minister Modi is going out of his way to welcome Putin with open arms. We're likely to see bear hugs and so on. He wants to emphasize India's strategic autonomy, its multi-alignment, at a time when the United States has a very fraught relationship with Russia, and indeed the international community does as it pursues its war of conquest in Ukraine. So I think Prime Minister Modi is walking a particular line. It's a dangerous, it's a difficult balance to strike, and we'll see where he lands on what he wants to signal.
The two leaders, of course, share a great relationship. They've met over a dozen times at different locations, at different visits that have happened, not just in each other's countries, but as you rightly mentioned, at Tianjin and other locations. Are these sort of dinners really working dinners in that sense, or do you expect it to be more unofficial in terms of just the personal interaction between the two leaders? Kamal Sibal, how do you look at this?
Like that. After all, he's going to have the foreign minister and the national security advisor and the defense minister with him. So they're going to talk substance. They're not going to waste time. It's a very short visit. There will be this interaction. And then tomorrow they will have the principals that will have talks with each other, the delegation level talks. So they will not miss any opportunity to go into depth on various issues, bilateral, of course, but also international, regional. Ukraine will definitely figure because, as you know, Prime Minister has been in constant touch